And we're live, people, and welcome to the Protein Bites podcast with your host, Adriano Rizzo. I've got nothing to sell you other than a good time. So come on in, sign on up, have a listen, grab your earlobes, give them a fondle, and let's get educated. Today, I want to talk to you about losing your next 5 to 10 kilos without dieting, without exercise, just by being a fucking magical unicorn. How does that sound? Crazy. Sounds amazing. Well, welcome to the audio experience that is the Protein Bites podcast, where we are going to tell you how to lose your next 5 to 10 kilos without lifting a finger and probably saving money at the same time. Do you know how we're going to do it? Not by drinking calorie-free energy drinks, that's for sure. But I lie, it's probably actually a good way of doing it. So, a really good way to lose your next 10 kilos is 2 parts, and I want to talk to you guys about both parts. First part is you need to stop thinking in 6, 12, 18, 24, 30, 36, 42, 48, and 54-week blocks, even though 54 weeks, there's only 52 weeks in here. You need to start thinking in short blocks. You need to start thinking in 1 year, probably like 2-3 years more so. Otherwise, you're just going to keep bumping into the same thing. Now, much like my failed relationships in the past, we all have lessons to learn. And so for me, if I keep rinsing and repeating the same cycles, I'm going to get the same outcome. Unfortunately, with fitness, I'm phenomenal. Love life, maybe not so much, but that's a different story for a different day. So let's keep kicking on. We all have lessons to learn. So today, I want to talk to you about long-term thinking. That means if you have a massive goal, let's say you want to lose 25 kilos, you have to become a different person. You have to do the things that someone who is 25 kilos lighter would do every day because you did the things that a person your weight would do. And so in order to become somebody else, the weight of somebody else, the physicality of somebody else that you might want to look like or you might want to embody and become, you have to do those things on a daily basis for an extended period of time. That means it's not a 12-week challenge. That means it's not a 24-week challenge. That means it's not a 52-week challenge. It's probably going to be more like 2 or 3 years. But guess what? You'll never have to repeat it again. You won't have to sign up to another coaching program. You won't have to fucking worry about dieting. You will have all the skills at your disposal that you need in order to progress you through and keep you at the weight where you're comfortable, happy, and no longer worrying about food being the thing that kind of holds you back in life. Okay? So, what does that look like on a micro level? We've talked about it, where your headspace needs to go on a macro, on a big picture, right? You need to start thinking about who you're becoming. You need to start thinking about what is the person that you want to become do every day. And how does that look? It looks like you figuring out what are the key components that you can live without and doing that. If I can live without, let's just say, entertain me for a little bit here. Let's just say in a universe that's somewhat magical, Adriano could live without ice cream. Can't do it. But if I could live without ice cream, what would that look like for me? It would look like I'd be fucking shredded yesterday. I'll tell you that much because I probably have about 1,000 calories of ice cream a day. Probably, yeah. Probably about that. I'm probably 20% Maxibon at this stage, just being transparent. So it would mean I get to my goals a lot faster, but is that doable? Can I live without ice cream every day? No, I can't. It'd fucking be boring. I work like 16 hours. I'm making a podcast that like fucking 5 people listen to in order to try and help 5 people get a bit more educated and feel inspired to make changes in their life. I do a lot of things, right? So for me, my little treat and the thing that I love to come home to is, number 1, my cats, but 2, ice cream. Keeps me going. If I got rid of that, the whole ship would fall apart. And that sounds a bit odd, but that's just how it is for me. So if you can figure it out what it is for you, I would highly, highly advise that you do that. So my number 1 recommendations are like, if you're somebody that has like multiple coffees a day, work to cutting it down. Let's say you even have sugar. So let's just start at the top. Let's say someone has 3 coffees a day, large with sugar. We're going to have 3 larges and without sugar. Or we're going to turn those 3 larges into 3 smalls, but keep the sugar. Okay? Then in 3 months, what's going to happen is we're going to go down to 1 sugar. Okay? And then in another 3 months, what's going to happen? We're going to go down to 0 sugars. And then what's going to happen after we go to 3 months, fucking 3 coffees small, we're going to go down to 2 coffees or 1 coffee. Okay? And we're going to sit in that zone. And we'll sit at 1 or 2 coffees happily. But let's say each coffee is 300 calories. Okay? Calculator. We're going to work that out today, live and direct. Look at, can I just say, when I'm leaner, I just look so much more beautiful. Anyway, not the point, Adriano. Continue on with the education. Fantastic. So 300 times 365 for the days in the year. 109,000 calories. Okay? So just by cutting out 1 large coffee every day, you're going to save yourself 109,000 calories. 110K. Let's call it 110. Okay? If we divide that by how many calories are in a kilo of fat, we're going to go equals divided by 9,000. 900? 9,000. Think it's about 9,000 calories per kilogram of fat. Guess how many kilos you've saved? This has blown my fucking mind, right? If you just switch this little habit, that's it. You go from your 3 coffees to 2 coffees, 300 calories a day. 12 fucking kilos worth of calories. That fucking blows my mind. I didn't even know that. Imagine if you cut down to you say 450 calories. You know what? We're having a fuck. It's just me and you here. Just me. It's not. But anyway, just me and you. Let's have some fun, right? We're going to save 450 calories a day because we're going to go take those 3 coffees and we'll turn them all down to smalls. So we're going to half the size. Let's just say it's half, all right? We're going to save 150 calories per coffee. I'm going to times that by 365. That is 164,000 calories we are going to save, right? So we're going to go divide that by 9,000. That's 18 kilos of fucking body fat from just halving coffee. That's it. That's it. You've saved yourself 20 kilos of fat. If that doesn't blow your mind, I don't fucking know what to tell you, because that blows my mind. As someone that struggled with my weight like my entire life, nobody's had the sack or the intelligence to sit down and actually break down what that means for me and my fucking fat loss journey. Adriano, well, because I had a really bad problem with binge eating. So whenever I get really anxious, it was either turn to drugs or turn to food. And obviously, I really would have loved to turn to food. It was a bit of a mishmash, I'll be honest. But because I really couldn't handle the emotions that were coming my way and I really want to escape them, I was having a really hard time in my life. I just went straight to food. And so I'd go down to Coles, put a hoodie on, didn't want to be seen by anybody, felt ashamed and embarrassed about my behavior. I was a personal trainer or someone that was meant to be healthy. And I was going to Coles and I was just buying $60 worth of junk food, cookies, ice cream, fucking you name it. And I'd sit there and I'd watch that YouTube and I'd just sit in this pile of shame and guilt and eat and eat and eat and eat until I felt sick, right? I'd probably eat 2/3 of the food, maybe 2 bags of lollies, ice cream, biscuits, just fucking gone in there. And if somebody said, hey man, to me earlier, or maybe I wouldn't have listened, but if let's say I had a binge like that every 2 weeks, which is probably the frequency, but if I reduce those binges to once a month or once every 2 months, somebody said, hey, look, every 6 weeks you can have 2 whole bags of lollies and a bag of fucking chocolate, cookies if you want. And you'll save yourself 10 kilos worth of weight gain in a year, which is probably calorically speaking what I probably ate, in fairness. I probably would have eaten that much binge eating. And I'll save 10 kilos. So I wouldn't have to take off 10 kilos. That would already be taken off. You know how awesome that would fucking be for me to hear when I was going through that. And I just don't think people break it down in those terms because people don't care or I don't fucking whatever reason. But it's sad. It's sad that nobody sits down and gives you guys the time of day that you need and the explanation that you guys deserve to get the results that are so there for you on the table. Like, it's so easy, right? But most people want to overcomplicate it. A lot of people, unfortunately, don't want to go from 3 coffees to three larges to 3 smalls. And that's all it fucking takes. And then you just wait. You literally just set that habit and you wait. And the weight will just go. Like if you're a fucking alcoholic. If I have clients to me that are like, I drink a 6-pack every night, or I go out and smash beers. Well, guess what, ding dong? If you just have a 6-pack a week instead of a whole carton, it's a whole day's worth of eating you're going to save. Right? It's 1,800 calories. Let's say it's 2,000. There's a whole day's worth of eating. So you could eat 2,000 calories worth of food, and have 6 beers still, which is like enough beers. Like 6 beers if you're slamming it. It's a fucking decent go. Like you feel pretty good after that. I think it's important to contextualize it and then help people understand. Like that's really what's on the table for you. If you do this, you will stop yourself from having to work so hard on the back end. It's such a simple process. And that's how I've learned to keep the weight off this year. Dropped like 10 kilos, coming on 11, I'd imagine. My abs are showing. I feel really good in my own skin. My face looks thinner. I really love how I look now. I'm really proud of how I look. And so there's just so many benefits that come with that. And all it was me just making simple changes and sticking to those changes day in, day out. Sure, I had like fucking fun food, but the binging went down. Everything went down. And guess what? The weight came off and stayed off. It's very fucking easy to keep it off. Like really easy. So I wanted to just extend that out to you guys. Whatever it might be for you. You might be someone that has peanut butter on toast in the morning. Okay. If you're someone that has peanut butter on toast and you love peanut butter on toast, you don't want to give it up. Cool. Have 1 piece of peanut butter on toast in the morning. Instead of your 2, where you've just gotten the knife and just gone, and you probably had like 400 or 500 calories worth of peanut butter. If you save that and say 250 calories, and let's work that out. Let's say you save 250 calories. 250 times 365. That's 91,000 calories a year just by halving your peanut butter, not even the toast aspect. So save 250 calories a day, right? That is 91,000. So if we divide that by 9,000, you're going to save yourself 10 kilos of work a year just by sticking to a habit that makes you eat 250 calories less per day. I don't know. It seems like a pretty good deal to me. And I hope this really helps you guys kind of, again, understand and contextualize where you're at with regard to fat loss and how easy it is for you to actually lose the weight. I think this is probably one of my best podcasts I've ever made. I reckon I'm going to go out and say it. Probably you guys can't appreciate it. Hopefully you can. That was a bit rude. I probably shouldn't have said that. But I hope that you guys can appreciate it because this is stuff that nobody's going to sit down and break down for you. But literally it's all it takes. That's 10 kilos. Like, without even trying. 20 kilos without even trying. Okay? Let's say if I stopped eating ice cream. Now this is getting I'm just getting out of hand with these calculations, but I love it. If I stopped eating ice cream at 1,000 calories a day, right? I would reach my goal in a minute, firstly. Under 100 in a day. 1,000 times, what is it, 365? If I stopped eating 3 maxi buns a day, I would save myself. You're kidding. That's bad. I'd save myself 40 kilos of fat. That just doesn't even seem right. Wow. I would save myself 40 kilos of fat loss in a year. So I'd be losing 7,000 calories a week. So I suppose it's like a kilo. Yeah. Right. Fuck me. That's crazy. So I know if I want to get shredded, I just got to not eat ice cream for a week and I'll lose a kilo. It's a pretty good fucking deal, I reckon. That's a shit deal, not worth it. Anyway, guys, look, I hope this podcast has helped you on how to understand and conceptualize and break down the macro. The overall picture of how your fat loss journey needs to look if you want to keep to your new weight loss, like your new weight goal, and then how to get there step by step. You need to look at the things that you don't really want to, that you can kind of live without, and the things that are non-negotiables for you, and then you need to execute on that every day, and then just set and forget, and the rest of it will come. If you have 2 eggs on toast in the morning as opposed to a banana bread and a coffee, you save 500 calories a day there. Things like that. So have a look at your eating behaviors, see where you can optimize and make better choices, and then stick to those choices 365 days of the year. Pretty easy, just a daily commitment. By brushing your teeth, and you'll be at your weight loss goal without even trying. So, hope this video helps. Speak to you guys on the next one. Thanks for tuning in to the Protein Bites podcast. You guys are awesome. Love yous. Bye.